What an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day. It's raining. It is. It's pouring rain. It's rained for the last 3 days, but we need the rain. Let me see if I can turn the camera around so you can see the rain. It's let up a little bit. I had just got finished feeding the animals, and I thought, well, let me come out here and see what is going on. Well, as soon as I got up on the porch, it started sprinkling, and then when I come through the house, I saw it was full-blown rain. You can see it running down the driveway at how much it was. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to get out here and grab some pictures of it because it's a beautiful, beautiful rainy day. This means I don't have to water anything that I've planted, and it means that we're able to get the garden good and soaked. I've got a few things I wanted to plant. I've got a few things right here. These blue flowers, and then these dianthus. I wanted to plant something in this little container that I've got right here. It's just a cement planter that a friend gave me years ago. I did have dianthus in it, but when it got really, really hot over the last season, the dianthus seemed to die out. The mums are still there. There's some mums. But I'm just going to clean this out. I'm not going to do it right now because it's raining. You can see the beautiful dianthus that I got. It's raining, and I don't want to be out here in the rain for very long. I did want to run out here and show you a few things that are blooming. I got these pretty blue flowers right here. Let's see what kind they are. Delphinium. So I got some pretty blue delphiniums right here that I want to put somewhere. I may take this lemon balm up since I have lemon balm over in the other area. But these, I'm going to put these somewhere out here in this garden because I just think it'll set it off with some pretty blue color. Oh, the Queen Anne's lace is still beautiful. The echinacea is beautiful. It is sure pretty out here. Donald and I did get one thing on the list done. We got these roses trellised up. Now they look a little crazy because we've got zip ties holding some things back. But I'm going to tell you, there are some really big thorns on this heirloom climber right here. I'll try to get close enough for you to see. And so we went ahead and did zip ties because it was quicker and it would hold them. You can see the thorns there. And this thing was huge. In fact, there's another little trellis over on the side. This one was not big enough and we had to add another one. So it's a pretty big mess out here as far as getting this thing trellised up. I'm out here barefooted. You know, I'm out here barefoot a lot. And so I didn't want to step on those few canes that we clipped off of this, but we did get it trellised up, and that is great. It's up off the ground now. Things look so much neater right here in this garden. It now looks like somebody is caring for it and giving it the energy that it requires. When I was looking out the window, I saw how beautiful these Queen Anne's lace and these these daylilies right here. Tiger lilies, you know. I don't know if they are tiger lilies, but I thought they were so pretty. They're daylilies. Some people call them ditch lilies because they're around here a lot. But they look really pretty with the Queen Anne's lace, and I thought, let me go out here and catch a little bit of this before it stops, and I can get some of these blooms and show you how pretty they are. Show you that we're getting rain. Share with you that we're getting plenty of good rain. Well, this is Memorial Day weekend, so this is Friday. Donald's got Friday off today, and he'll have Monday off, so we've got a long weekend. He is already working. He got some things out of the garden. This is a plant that he brought from his grandma's that we are finding very invasive. It's a hummingbird vine, but it's the trumpet flower. And so He pulled a lot of that out today. We're going to put that in a black trash bag and get rid of that. He bought the cattle panel, or the hog panel, for the trellis that he's going to make for the peace rows, because it's just got to be done. It did rain today, last night and this morning, so I got some grass seeds spread out on this area where the mulch was at. We need a little straw to put over it, but it'll grow back. It's getting wet. It'll be grown back before you know it. Well, everything is looking good with a good fresh drink of water today, so the garden's looking really good. Of course, it's heavy with rain. It's 59 degrees out here. I've got my sweater jacket on because it's cold. It's cold out here. To me, it's 59 degrees. Now the Queen Anne's lace is looking good. It's heavy with the rain and bent down. Normally the day before it rained, it was just standing up so pretty. But now it's bent over a little bit. There's plenty of blooms on it. I'm going to be able to save the seeds off of it. This is the first bloom that came out. It's dying down now, but there are plenty of pretty Queen Anne's lace blooms on the flower. The bird baths are full of natural water. Didn't have to fill those up with the hose today. It rained enough that everything's good and full. And the echinacea is looking beautiful. Blooms all over it. Just as pretty as it can be. That's the yarrow. It's looking good. More purple coneflower over here. There are some things that are dried up. Now, it was 91 degrees for a couple of days, so there's a lot of things out here that are looking a little rough. This is May 22nd, I think, and it is a lot that's kind of dried up. I've got to check the flowers that I had out here. That little bit of rain's done them pretty good. Not a lot of blooms on some of it. I've got to get that coleus in pots. Look how bright and pretty that looks. That's going to be beautiful in a pot. Now we had something eating everything up. I think I can trim most of this back that's been chewed on, and I think whatever was eating it has morphed into a different stage, so it doesn't look like it's eating it as much. The camellia that we put into roots looking pretty good. I just took some of my tomatoes that I had and went ahead and stuck them down in the water so they could go ahead and be rooting. I haven't got any seeds planted because of the chilly nights that we've been having. Even though it would be 91 degrees in the daytime, it would still get down to 39 at night. So I hadn't really started seeds or anything. But you know, I don't worry about that anymore. I don't worry about it being late, or it has its own time frame. I get it in when I can get it in, and it's been good enough. Now today Donald's going to work on the trellis for this peace rose. This one right here with the big long canes that need to be corralled and latticed up towards the house. So we're going to do that today to get it up and in the shape that it needs to be in. Everything will have to be done. So the plan is to put 2 of these T-posts down and then put the panel on it.
34. It's 34 by 34.
And we might have to attach it.
A little bit, let it stick out, huh?
Yeah,
Let the counter panel stick out about 2 or 3 inches on each side.
yeah. And then he's going to attach it up to the house so the rose bush can grow up on it. Well, I'm sitting out on the porch this morning. I actually had my tea out here. I made it and I come out here and I had the Ceylon and India orange pico. So that's the tea I had this morning. And I'm on my second cup because it wasn't good at all. Not at all. It wasn't any good. This is Harney and Sons tea. And I love it. Really good. I'm on my second cup. I woke up this morning. I had devotions. I came on out here on the porch and had devotions. It was such a beautiful day. Such a good day. Now we've had rain. I showed you some of the rain that came. And I'll show you the rain gauge. So we had almost 2 inches, which is good because, you know, it's been a drought. So there's the rain we got. Not quite 2 inches, but almost. I'm going to put that bird bath. Might overfill it. I don't know where the little float went out of this thing. It's getting older and the squirrel's been messing with it. But very happy with almost 2 inches of rain. What was it? An inch and 3/4 or yeah, about 1.5 inches, I think. But anyway, it was good rain this morning. I had my 10 minutes of weed pulling, but you know, once you start weed pulling, you start seeing all of them, and it can add up the time that you spend doing it. And the rain makes all the beautiful flowers grow, but it also makes the weeds grow. But with all the rain, you can see it's still not as look, still got dry areas here. Ain't that something? Dry down in here. So we didn't get a lot up here close like you would think. Now I'm thankful for this mulch. It'll help hold in some of this rain in the garden. But see, I'm getting back into pulling weeds. I want to pull weeds. How beautiful everything is looking. I see pollinators over there on the roses. So glad everything is mainly watered. I see it's a little dry up here, but that's not unusual for it to be dry closer to the house. Sometimes I have to add a little bit of water. But I'm thankful for every bit that we get. Now I put a stake in here this morning. I still haven't got, I got to go in and get a rubber band to help. I'm going to kind of hold these beautiful Queen Anne's lace up. The rain has got them bent down a little bit. You see all that rainwater on them. Got them hanging their heads a little bit, and I want to see their pretty heads. So I'm going to stake them up today so that I can see them. I want all these heads to mature because I'm going to collect the seeds off of them. They sure are pretty this morning. The echinacea are absolutely gorgeous. That's probably the prettiest color I've ever saw on them. Usually they lighten up as they age. Here's one that's lighter. But that bright pink sure is pretty. They're called purple echinacea, but they're actually pink. And that's, you sometimes get a lot of that in the plant and animal world, don't you? The names don't quite match. The birds are out this morning. Sure does sound pretty hearing the bird song. I love to get out here. The neighborhood's already woken up quite a bit. I'm going to go over here and rinse my hand off. Yeah, you can see the Queen Anne's lace. They're bending way over with the heaviness of the rain, and that's okay. I'm so glad they got a drink of water this morning. There's a few old heads. I shared those with you, letting those go to seed. What I'm going to do is take these couple of rubber bands and slide them on this pole, this plant stake that I got from Tractor Supply, I think. And the reason I'm going to slide these on the pole is because I'm going to put these up with, I'm going to put them up with zip ties, some big zip ties that I've got right here. And you can get these anywhere zip ties are sold, Lowe's, Home Depot. And I'm just going to put these rubber bands down like this. And the reason I'm going to put the rubber bands on here is because this pole is as slick as it can be. I've got the zip ties right here, and if I were to just put the zip tie on this pole, it would slide up and down. So the rubber band gives it a little bit of texture and resilience right here, and so I'm going to just go ahead and slide this around here. It's probably going to take 2 hands. I don't have my tripod as usual, but I'll show you how I stake these up. Now what I did here was just kind of corral these up and took the zip tie and put around it. I forgot one. I can see there's one laying on the ground here that needed to be corralled up, but I don't want to use too many of these zip ties. They're not particularly attractive. We do use the black ones. I think they're somewhere downstairs in the laundry room, but these were handy. We had these handy, so we just used what we had on hand, and it was these white zip ties. Now back in the old days, I would only use wooden stakes, and I would use a jute twine to hang up to wrap up these. You know, I was really a stickler about things like that. These days, there is a lot to do, and I kind of just go ahead and use what I have on hand and what seems to withstand the weather. And then you can see where I have the rubber band down there. It'll keep this from going down too far. It'll keep it from slipping and sliding too much when the rain and the wind hits, which they're calling for more later on. Now this little fella here, he was independent. He's on his own little bunch, own little plant, and so was this one. So I did not include it in. I just went ahead and left them standing on their own. They didn't seem quite as heavy laden as these right here do. I've got to plant this sometimes today. It would be a good day to plant it today with some rain. I pulled up that lemon balm that I was going to pull up, and I'm going to put that right there on the edge just to add some color down here. And you know, blue's my favorite color, and this kind of matches the house, so I think it'll tie right into this cottage garden, and it'll look exactly beautiful. Let me get back a little bit and show you those standing up. It'll help me corral those Queen Anne's lace, and I won't be stepping on them as much. Not as particularly beautiful as it could be, you know, maybe with some natural twine might look better, but I'm just going to leave it like this for right now. It gets them up and I can see them. I may take some in and dry them. I have put some in a picture frame. I've got some framed right here from last year. Of course, I shook out and got the seeds because you know, I replant the seeds. I don't know why that little lampshade is tilted, but right there you can see I dried those flowers in between heavy books, and that's the Daucus carota. That's the Latin name for these Queen Anne's lace that I have out here. That's just a wonderful way to include some of the beautiful things that you enjoy outside, inside. I might need to do a whole video on drying your flowers and keeping them for framing or scrapbooks or just in a potpourri dish. I probably need to do a whole video on that. That's something that I do every year to extend the season and enjoy those blooms a little longer. These are my new shoes I got from Mother's Day. They're a little big. They're my size, but these ran a little big. I didn't try them on before I bought them because, you know, I've bought so many pairs of these. These are not actual sloggers. They were from Tractor Supply, and they're just, I don't even know that they have a name brand. It just says Groundwork inside of there. But I liked them, and they were affordable. So I thought, let me just pick up another pair of these to keep by the front door. You know, I have that pair that I've had for 30 years, and they're sloggers. And there's nothing wrong with them. It's just, I guess you like to change it up. These kind of matched my phone case. I've got these wildflowers theme going on. I seem to be picking it up everywhere I go because it's just, you know, I'm just really attracted to it. Well, I'm still out here enjoying my tea, doing a few things at a time. And when I went to see Mama, it's very close to her birthday, and we spent time with Mama yesterday. So we went up there and enjoyed a day with her, and we had to take her to the store, to Walmart, to get a few errands. And that Walmart where she was at had a lot of Harney & Sons tea. They surely did. I picked up Cherry Blossom. It's a delicate green tea with springtime cherries. Now this just has a hint of cherry taste. It's not going to be like a cherry soda when you make this tea. It's mainly green tea and just a hint of cherries, and it was really good. I had never tried this Harney & Sons tea, so I snatched the one I hadn't tried up, but they had like 7 different brands. I wanted to share with you. I really did. I wanted to share Walmart with you, but it was so crowded in there because, you know, it was a Memorial Day. So a lot of people were off from work, and it was so crowded in there. I didn't get to share much of anything because it felt like elbow to elbow. That's just how it felt. And then they were playing music really loud. So it was just not a good day for filming in there. But they had that Walmart that we went in next to Mama. Go check your tea area if you're interested in trying some Harney & Sons tea. And they're affordable. This was close to $6. And great price. There's, how many in here? 20 sachets. So, and I use mine twice sometimes, so you can make your sachets go a long way if you you can either pour a second cup, leave your tea bag in and pour a second cup, or you can dry your tea bag and use it again. This is my cup today is be your own kind of beautiful. So that's the advice today. Be your own kind of beautiful. You know, we're all unique. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So you do what makes you feel beautiful today. Being out here in this garden is a beautiful moment for me. I really enjoy it. So my own kind of beautiful is out here in my garden today. My tea is the Ceylon and India Orange Pico from Harney & Sons. And I have a link in the description, but if you don't want to use my link, it'll save you some money. You can go to the Harney & Sons website and see all their teas, their wonderful teas that they offer. You can even go on there and find out all about Harney & Sons and how they got started in America, in New York. And they're one of the best teas, I'm telling you. It is the best tea that I've ever tasted, and so I enjoy sharing it with you. I also drink other kinds of teas. And I was surprised to find they had Taylor's tea at Walmart where we went at Mama's. They don't have it where we are. And they really respected the tea. I mean, this Harney & Sons tea and the Taylor's tea was on top. It's top shelf tea. It should be on top. And they had it in the correct place. Now, the Walmart where I live, they got the tea on the bottom shelf. And that's not ideal. I mean, the really good teas that should be on top shelf, they're on the bottom shelf at the Walmart where I live, and they only had 3 varieties at the Walmart near my house. Now 3 varieties, those get sold out. I went by there last time just to check and see if they had added any new tea to my Walmart that was close to me. They hadn't added any new tea, and they were sold out on most all of the tea. I think there was just 2 sitting in front of the Earl Grey and one other tea, but the hot cinnamon was sold out, and it is a best seller, so it is going to sell out. And going to the website is the best place to get that if you can't find it in your area. But I enjoyed seeing that tea. They had like 7 different varieties. I should have at least got a picture of it, but it was kind of hustle and bustle, you know, having to watch what was going on with so many people. It just wasn't a good time for me to film, but if I can go back up there, I'll be sure and get you a picture when it's a quieter day, when it's not a holiday. People around here take Memorial Day serious, and there were people just really off work and enjoying their Memorial Day. And Memorial Day is when we take the time to appreciate people that have gave their lives for our country. And there are relatives of people whose family have died in service to our country. And so Memorial Day is the day we set aside. I usually decorate outside for Memorial Day for the flags and all of the seasons that's coming up. You know, in June we have Flag Day where we celebrate our flag, and in July we have the 4th of July. We celebrate America's birthday, so to speak, and it is 250 years this year. 250 years. America's relatively a new country compared to most other countries around the world, and we take every opportunity we can to celebrate it and to enjoy America's birthday. So normally on Memorial Day, I'll take time and decorate. Now I do have all of my 4th of July stuff out and ready to decorate. It just won't be today. I'm having to catch up on some things. Me and Donald, we had date day. He was off a few days. We did get the roses trellised up. I may have shared that with you, and as he was doing some of it, I don't think I've showed you the full reveal, but we finally got these rose bushes trellised up right here beside the house. Yay! You can see how tall that rose bush actually is. And so it is up off of the ground. We still have to put these things in the building back here. We still have a lot. This stays out. That's just decor. But we're in the process of cleaning up this year. You know, there was some steps that had to come before other steps could be done. But he got these two things right here trellised up. He bought a hog panel from Tractor Supply, and he cut it in half with his saw. And I've got footage of that. I'll include it. You may have already seen it, or if you hadn't, you will see it. And so he got these things trellised up. And of course, we cut this back. Had plenty to cut off of that as we were putting that up on the trellis. And then over here in this garden, right here in front of the sidewalk, we had the pink heirloom rose. And I've probably already shared this with you, but goodness gracious, you talking about thorns. We definitely had to wear our gloves. If you can just see the thorns on this thing, it is brutal. My advice is, if you're going to have climbing roses, put up your trellis before they get very big, because we wrestled this thing. It was like a wrestling match. Me and Donald both. It took us both. He put the panel up, you can see the trellis, and then this one was so sprayed, so long and splayed out that we had to put another little trellis beside of it to get all of the canes. You know, these climbers, they bloom on 2-year canes, so we don't cut this down to the ground every year, because those canes need to be 2 years old to create blooms. We have cut them back to the ground to encourage root growth and other things, and then of course that's next spring. After we cut them down, we don't see any blooms, and then the year after that they are loaded. So we don't cut them back often, because we sure do enjoy the blooms. I have yet to deadhead. These roses have bloomed, and they have deadheads all over them, so I've got to get my snips out. The rain put a little bit of hamper into me getting them deadheaded, because I just couldn't do it out here in the rain. And by deadheaded, I mean we'll be snipping all of this right here off. Now sometimes we'll let them go and get the rose hips on the back, because rose hips are such good medicine. All roses are edible. Natural roses are edible. You can make tea with the blooms. You can make potpourri. You can make medicine out of the rose hips. They're high in vitamin C. And they make a great salve. So sometimes we save the rose hips, and sometimes we let friends gather them. But I've got to get out here one day and just dedicate a day to snipping all these rose heads, dead heads, off of the roses, to free them up to just go ahead and have leaves and store it up for next year. Now this rose will bloom all year. It will bloom all summer. So it'll be putting out new rose buds. You can see some right here. This is a fairly new one. See the little rosebud, isn't that pretty? And the two ones beside of it that haven't opened yet. So this one will bloom most all year. So we'll be able to enjoy these, and that's the knockout rose, and Donald calls them hedge roses because they make a really nice hedge. And there are, you can find them wherever roses are sold. You can get them at Lowe's, at Home Depot. I got this one as a Mother's Day or a birthday gift. I used to remember exactly where everything came from, but as the years go on, I get so many gifts, and a lot of them are plants. I know I got this from Donald as a gift. I don't know if it was Mother's Day or birthday, but it was somewhere right in that area. My birthday's close to Mother's Day, so it's hard for me to always remember what is what. But I sure am glad he got those trellised up. And we wrestled those things, and we didn't have anybody to film us. But you would have got a kick. Look at that bird looking at us. You would have got a kick out of seeing me and Donald wrestle this thorny rose bush. And we used those white zip ties, and they're blatantly evident. They're just popping out of there like a highlight. But actually, that was the thing we had closest on hand. We had put this job off for so long. We were not going to let not having zip ties, the correct color zip ties. We usually put black on there, and they're less noticeable. But we used the white ones this time because that's what we had, and we wasn't going to make another trip to the hardware. We had already went to the hardware and got this cattle panel and these stakes that you see that's holding the cattle panel up to make this trellis to put these beautiful roses on. So we just used the zip ties that we have. I'll show you over here are the black zip ties. Now these climber roses definitely need deadheading. Their little dead heads are hanging all over here, but I've got to clip those off, and there's new growth on them this year. But you can see the black zip ties right here, and they don't show up near as much as when you add those white ones. When you put those white ones on, it's like little highlights. I'm here holding up this rose. Yeah, it's me, the zip ties. But the zip ties make it so easy. Now what happened here, I'll let them get by. They're picking up the leaves and the debris. We had a pile of it at the road where we worked this weekend. So we had a whole big pile of it down there, and they've already picked our side up. And I'm thankful for it. It looks so much better. But this, I'm on the back side of the trellis now. This is how Donald installed it. He took 2 of those T-posts, he calls them, and he bought a cattle panel that was 18 feet long, and he cut the thing in half, so that gave us 2 8-foot trellises, and then he put it down like this, and that was plenty enough to hold up the roses. Well, that rose bush was laying all over the ground, and so we were wrestling it to get it up here and trellis it up. So me and Donald took turns. He wrestled part of it, and I wrestled part of it, and then the one back here would wrap the tie. We would wrap it around and get it go ahead and snugged in here and get this thing held up so it wouldn't fall back down on the person that was down there trying to get everything pinned up, trying to hold everything up. And of course I did wear my gloves, because I'm telling you, these things were thorny. And of course it was getting caught all up in my hair. I was in such a rush that I didn't put my hair up like I should have to get out here and work in the garden, and this thing was just all in my hair. It was a process. You probably would have got a kick out of watching me do that. And then we realized the last little bit that was laying down there was going to need a separate trellis, so we went ahead and added that trellis there to get this rose bush up off the ground. And my advice is, don't wait as long as we did. We waited way too long to put this trellis up. We should have just went ahead and done it a couple of years ago, but there seemed like other things pressing that kept us from getting it done. There was always something that needed to be done more before I got this step done. But I encourage you, go ahead and trellis those things up when they're young. And don't let them get that big, because it is a lot of work, and it took 2 people. There's no way I could have got this thing by myself. First of all, Donald pounded that T-post. He actually has a T-post thing that goes over the top, and he can use to pound them in the ground. But he just used an 8-pound sledgehammer he had on the back of his truck, and he pounded those things in, those T-posts in. And it would have been a real workout for me to pound those T-posts in with an 8-pound sledgehammer. So he used his muscle and his height. I would have had to lift it over my head to pound, but he just he just was pounding straight head on with it. So it was easier for him to get those things pounded in the ground than it ever would have been for me. And of course, he used his saw to cut those that hog panel, because I wouldn't have enjoyed that at all. I don't like real loud power tools. That's just not my style. I usually use hand tools the old-fashioned way, but I am going to have to learn to use some power tools. Now here's the status. It's looking good, and I see it's got some blooms on it. And as we were wrestling this, you see the blooms right here? This is blue, so it'll be really pretty when it blooms. But it doesn't seem to have as many blooms as it usually does. And here you can see this is from those thorns. It looks like something's been chewing on it, and has in some leaves something has been chewing on it. But in this case, it was this rose bush that was laying all down across this. And so some of this came up, some of the status came up. I really need to divide the status anyway. But it came up with as we were pulling and getting these canes up on this trellis. The important part was that we just get this thing up and off of the ground. That's one of the things that encourages black spot, and that's something we've dealt with in the last few years, is if you allow your leaves and blooms and things to lay on the wet ground, it encourages black spot. So we were trying to rid our garden completely of any black spot. And this, of course, it needed to be pinned up because it just looks so much neater pinned up. And we were like, why did we wait so long? You can see we have natural rock border that we've picked up from our family's land over the years. These were picked up, sometimes just 2 or 3 stones brought home at a time. So these right here, we made this natural border. And then I made a video where I restacked this border and showed you how much effort it took to restack this border. But it's a freestanding, there's no any kind of mortar, no kind of glue, nothing holding the rocks together, so they do move around sometimes. And then some years it's just time to restack them, and I usually do that myself, and it usually takes me about a week to restack all of these stone borders. Of course, they're over here, the stone borders. And that's what we have edging our garden. And it satisfies my love of the mountains. These are pieces of the mountain that came here. And where my sister lives, they will clear out the road. They will take big equipment and rocks that look like they're, mountains that look like they're going to have rocks that'll slide and fall. They'll dig those out and break those loose rocks off and go back far enough so that the rocks are, the mountain is still holding on to the rocks really good, and they don't look like they'll be a hazard. So they clean those off, and when they do, you can come and pick up some of the rocks. They allow you to do that there, and I got a lot of those that way. There are still many, many things that are not done. There comes a point where sometimes you just have to enjoy what you've got done, because it's a long list to maintain. Our garden is a long-term garden. We've had this garden, of course, it wasn't as big as it is now, but we started it 40 years ago. So 40 years ago, we had basic bushes and landscaping that comes with buying a new house. Now we didn't have it built. The couple that had it built divorced and was selling their house 2 years after they built it. So it was fairly new and it didn't have anything in the yard. And I have shared with you that picture before of what this house looked like when we bought it. Well, I don't have a picture handy that I can share with you about the way the house looked, but it was very plain. It was kind of a red and grass. It had a lot of red mud. There was nothing out in the yard. There's one little stick tree. So it wasn't anything like it is now. Such a big before and after I wanted to share with you. But I must have taken the pictures of the house and put them back in the album because I can't find them. I had pulled them out to show you one time in my past videos, but I couldn't find them to show you today. But I wanted to show you the difference. I wanted to show you real quick that the elderberries are blooming, the elderberry bushes. We saw them on the highway as we went up to visit Mama yesterday too. There was just white elderberry flowers everywhere along the highway on the way up there. They sure are looking good. Well, I thank you today for joining me here at Much Ado About Something. Let me share some updates and things with you on the flower trellises. I need to be putting these on For the Love of Gardening, my other channel. I have been so busy that I have not updated that channel like I should, but that should be getting better soon. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in keeping up 2 channels as soon as some of the things work out around here, as soon as we get some of these things done. Well, thank you for joining me. I can't wait till the next video. I'm glad that you were here, and like always, until next time.